Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. We begin tonight in Nunavut. With the holiday season underway, some communities are taking steps to address alcohol use. The CBC's Mahnor Mubarak has more.
Rankin Inlet Hamlet Council is trying to set an example for its community. They passed a motion directing councillors to avoid drinking alcohol for the 12 days leading up to Christmas. The hamlet says it's meant to help reduce the harm that alcohol causes in the community, with families and frontline workers facing the brunt of its impact. Chris Eccles is a counselor with the hamlet. He says the effects of alcohol is something he sees in the community.
Some sad stories of people that, alcohol negatively affects their life and their family. But then, in the same breath, you also see amazing stories where people have been able to turn things around. I think it's definitely possible, and what we've got to be is, a Hamlet Council that's supportive of people making the right choices.
It's the third time the hamlet is doing this. Eccles says it's been having a positive response from the community, and trying to control alcohol use in communities around the holidays is an action hamlets have taken for years. The hamlet of Kugluktuk is placing a ban on alcohol being sold in the community during the holiday season. John McCafferty is the hamlet's assistant SAO.
Everybody in the community enjoys, a good Christmas with their families and children without any alcohol problems or anything like that.
Baker Lake has prohibited the sale and consumption of alcohol. The goal for the hamlets is that it will help create a safer holiday season. Mahnor Mubarak, CBC News, Iqaluit.
There's reaction coming in today after Tuesday's announcement that Northwest Territories Housing Minister Lucy Kuptana will run for chair of the Inuvialuit Regional Corporation, or IRC. Devin Tredinik has that story.
Lucy Kuptana is in her first term as an MLA. She was the Minister of Housing NWT, the Minister for Status of Women. As of today, the Premier stripped her of those titles. It's unclear what will happen next, but some MLAs have voiced support for her.
She means well. I know she's going to do well. And she is a strong Indigenous woman, really wants to make improvement, especially with social issues, especially with, concerning the Indigenous.
Jane Whalen Armstrong is the MLA for Monfouille. She says Kuptana has been easy to work with, but at least one member has concerns. The member for Yellowknife Centre says he's worried people no longer see the government as the leader of the NWT, and Kuptana's attempt at leaving could symbolize that.
And they want to jump to a community government. And what it, to me, is the bigger picture is it's a reminder that the community governments are more important to the community regions than the territorial government.
CBC News tried getting an interview with Premier R.J. Simpson. His office said he would not be able to speak to her time as an MLA or her intentions running for the IRC or speculate on what her future might be after the election out of respect for the democratic process. Devin Tredinik, CBC News, Yellowknife.
In Kuujjuaq, Nunavik, the Ungava Tulatarvik Health Center is telling people to stay vigilant after a cyber attack. The incident happened in November. The center was able to secure the computer network. The executive director of the center says there was no serious breach of data.
Preliminary analysis indicate that no sensitive data had been compromised. However, recent information reveals that files potentially containing clinical and administrative information concerning certain users and employees may have been exfiltrated.
Watt says the center has now created a crisis unit to protect data. He also says people should remain careful when checking their banking online. The earthquakes that shook the Yukon this month have left a mark on the mountainous terrain of Kluane National Park. Researchers with the Yukon Geological Survey flew over the area late last week. They say the effects of the earthquakes were easy to see, and they caused tons of rock and snow to crash down Mount King George.
We could observe a lot of cracks. Those are caused by shaking in the glacier, and those were still fresh and quite sharp. And the avalanches were, still quite apparent where they had come down onto the glacier, and the rock slides where there was actually rock involved were still sort of a darker color and hadn't been covered over. So we were able to tell quite clearly what had happened recently versus what might have been, say, an older feature.
Finley says the Geological Survey is looking for photos of the area around Mount King George before the quakes. He says that will help researchers better predict the impact of future earthquakes. Whitehorse emergency shelter users say the Yukon government should be adding warming spaces, not taking them away. The new Yukon Party government said this week it will not reopen the warming center in the government administration building in Whitehorse. Last year, the previous government opened up a space in the building from November to April. It provided coffee, snacks, harm reduction supplies, and help with accessing social programs. The Premier's office told CBC in an email there are other options for people who need a place to get warm, including the Whitehorse Public Library and the emergency shelter. But shelter users say the emergency shelter has been packed recently because of the cold temperatures.
It was like 30 below the other day, and there was people filled in the porch. There was no room in here at the shelter, and it's unseating to see that. It's heartbreaking to me.
They should have another place and make it more like here. Treat people nicely so they don't be homeless. How many people that died and overdose and everything like that, you know? It's not right.
In the Legislative Assembly on Tuesday, Yukon Health and Social Services Minister Brad Cathers said despite the official warming center being closed, people can still come into the administration building to warm up during business hours. In the NWT, a group of Fort Smith High School students received their Christmas gifts from an unlikely place this year. Socks, cosmetics, and notebooks were just some of the items that the grade 9 class at Paul William Kaiser High School unpacked today. The Christmas gifts came from Outreach High School in St. Albert, Alberta, as part of the Kindness Project. The project sees the St. Albert community send gifts to remote northern communities as a way to pay it forward during the holidays.
They were pretty surprised that they made it in time for our last week of school, and then they were just kind of overjoyed and, yeah, excited all around.
McDonald says they're talking with Outreach about how they can get involved with the project for next year. A CBC investigation has found more than a third of all complaints filed by Ontario prisoners this year are about access to health care. It's part of a deep dive into the state of jails as politicians consider bail reforms that could lead to more people being incarcerated. The CBC's Julie Ireton has the story of one prisoner's health crisis.
I decided to keep some of the stuff.
Inside this paper bag are tokens of Ashley Stevens' 4 months in 2 Ontario jails. She was charged with uttering threats, mischief, and assault. After violating her bail conditions, she was incarcerated and then found out she was pregnant.
So that's when I knew something wasn't right about this pregnancy.
Okay.
I felt something was off.
Weeks into her detention, she lost the baby.
I kept telling their nurses, I'm still bleeding a lot. Oh, how many pads are you going through? And I'd tell them, but sometimes couldn't even get pads.
Then an unrelated wound on her buttocks got infected. She eventually was taken to hospital. She had surgery for both the pregnancy loss and the infection.
It got to the point where I got sepsis, and the doctor even said if I didn't come in when I did, I would have been dead.
She's among many prisoners with health issues while incarcerated.
The health complaints jump off the page. Like, these are not frivolous claims.
This year, more than a third of the complaints from inmates were about access to health care and medication.
So people with health issues and with mental health issues often end up behind bars. They don't have enough staff. They don't have enough resources for that. And the prison is not a hospital.
Ontario's jail population has increased more than 30% since 2019. There are thousands more inmates, but the same number of beds. Staffing is also an issue.
You put 3,000 inmates into the system and you don't have additional staff to take care of the inmates and the service delivery. I mean, there's going to be impacts.
Ontario's Ministry of the Solicitor General tells CBC it's hiring 2,500 staff, including mental health counselors and nurses, to address staff shortages. Ashley Stevens pleaded guilty to some of the charges against her.
The judge had seen everything that I had went through.
After 3 months in jail awaiting trial, the judge acknowledged her medical hardship. She was given a sentence of 30 days. Julie Ireton, CBC News, Ottawa.
Scientists have verified a rare instance of a polar bear cub being adopted near Churchill, Manitoba. Researchers with Environment Canada have been tracking a mother and cub since early spring. They were surprised to see they'd become a family of 3 by autumn. Take a look.
In March of this year, we caught a female. She had 1 cub, and we left and she went back out on the sea ice. And then we came back in the fall to check upon various bears again. And when we ran into this female a second time, she had a second cub. And when we catch the bears, we put little tags in their ears so we can identify them over the long term and track individuals through their life. And when we landed the helicopter and approached this family group, one of the cubs had tags and one of them didn't. So we started scratching our heads because that was obviously a cue that this bear was new to this family group. Cub adoption is fairly rare in polar bears. It's been documented in other places like Norway and the Canadian high Arctic, and in particular in the Western Hudson Bay polar bear population that occupies the area around Churchill. This is the 13th case of cub adoption we've documented over a 45-year study. We don't know anything about the adopted cub's mother yet, but we are running genetic samples. So just kind of like CSI on TV, we can match individual genotypes and look at paternity and maternity. And so we can take this cub's genotype and then we'll bounce it against the pedigree we have that has over 4,600 individual bears that we've sampled over 45 years. So Mom was still alive, known to be alive, and somehow the family groups get separated, and then another mother takes these lone cubs on and care for them in the long term. Polar bear mothers are pretty amazing. They're pretty fierce. I mean, they'll defend their cubs at all costs. So it really looks like, female mammals and particularly female polar bears are just maternally primed to take care of their young. If there's a lone cub that's bawling on the tundra, they just, can't help themselves and they take them on. And we do know from our long-term research that many of these cubs do survive. So it's not just kind of a chance encounter and the cub just kind of follows her around for, a month or two. It really looks like they do take care of them and help increase their chances of survival.
Nunavut's Department of Culture and Heritage is calling on people to submit grants for cultural events next year. The department held community presentations in Baker Lake last week to spread the word. The department says it's important to hold community presentations so Nunavummiut know what opportunities are available to them.
Last fiscal year, we have less interest from Baker Lake community, and we wanted to make sure all the community members, all the nonprofit organizations, all the municipality are aware of the funding program available for them.
The department says those interested have until January 31st to submit an application. The Kakpik Show and Sale returned to Arviat Nunavut last weekend. The annual show highlights the work of local fashion designers. 140 participants showed off their creations this year. Cousins Christy King and Chelsea St. John started the show in 2017. Their grandmother told CBC the creations get better every year and participation is growing.
They get so happy because they had their heart set on doing it. Finishing anything like their sewing projects, even men, when they finish their projects, their souls are much happier knowing that they completed them.
Some of this year's items at the show included a mautit, parkas, and ski pants, all made out of sealskin. Skate Canada says it'll no longer host national and international events in Alberta over the province's transgender sports law. Julia Wong tells us the impact and how Alberta's premier is responding.
Mere weeks after holding a major competition in Alberta, Skate Canada says it won't hold any more national or international events in the province because of Alberta's transgender sports law. it blocks trans girls from competing in amateur female sports. Skate Canada, in a statement, says it's maintaining our national standards for safe and inclusive sport. Retired Canadian ice dancer Caitlin Weaver calls this move significant.
I want to see as many people enjoy this sport. I am a queer woman. I couldn't be more proud and I couldn't be more supportive of their choice.
Weaver sees the decision as a way to support the 2S LGBTQ plus community.
Skate Canada has been working for years to shorten and make the gap smaller between these groups of people that don't feel welcome.
There's been loud pushback against this law and others affecting trans youth. This month, the Alberta government invoked the notwithstanding clause to protect the laws from charter challenges. In a social media post, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith slammed the organization, saying, "We expect Skate Canada will apologize and adjust their policies once they realize they are not only compromising the fairness and safety of their athletes, but are also offside with the international community." A number of global sporting bodies have effectively banned transgender women from competing in women's sports, including the U.S. Olympic Community and World Aquatics. One professor says Skate Canada is making a statement.
It does send a message to other federations, other sports in Canada that this is our stance, and we follow the safe sport policy.
Skate Canada says Alberta athletes can still participate in its programs and competitions. The organization says it will reassess hosting opportunities as circumstances evolve. Julia Wong, CBC News, Edmonton.
This is the time of year many Canadians are about to take or plan a winter trip out of the country, and not just for the sun. U.S. ski resorts are usually a popular destination for Canadians, but not this year. As Kyle Bax reports, they too are feeling the pain of the dramatic drop in visitors from this side of the border.
On the eve of the busy holiday season, U.S. ski resorts are dreading a drop in Canadian tourists this winter.
We are looking at the economic trends. We're looking at the environment that we're in and encouraging folks to continue visiting.
A hit to many mountain towns who rely on visitors traveling south across the border.
Just checked our occupancy rates and we're 25% under 2024 rates, so it's considerable.
In this Montana town, credit card spending by Canadians has plunged 39% so far this year compared to last year.
It's disappointing and sad. I mean, we totally understand that for many people, they're choosing not to visit the United States right now.
The boycott in response to U.S. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs on Canadian goods and his suggestions that Canada should become the U.S.'s 51st state. Businesses are trying to coax Canadians down south, offering discounts and deals. At this Montana brewery, there's a special only for Canadians, 2 beers for the price of 1.
Certainly we're seeing less Canadian tourism, and that's very noticeable.
Many Canadians avoid U.S. travel for reasons beyond politics, including the low value of the loonie and the annoyance at the border with changing requirements to enter the U.S., including registering and fingerprinting for longer stays.
Those are all barriers to travel. When presented between two destinations and one appears more hassle-free, maybe more affordable, the traveler may choose in that direction.
There aren't many Canadians here, but polling shows that among Canadians who frequently travel, their resolve is starting to slip with every passing month.
It's softening, but we're not out of the woods yet. So I don't want to sound too optimistic because it wouldn't take much to set it back yet again.
Skiers and snowboarders may still travel south if the conditions are right, including plenty of powder.
It's always about the snow, and someone has great snow conditions, people are going to go to that ski area.
U.S. ski resorts will know soon whether their northern neighbors are ready to visit, with the make-or-break holiday season fast approaching. Kyle Bax, CBC News, Whitefish, Montana.
It's the season for get-togethers with family and friends, events that often include a lot of food. And for those with an eating disorder, that means added stress and triggers. One St. John's woman has been living with the mental illness for decades, and she has some advice on how to navigate the holidays. The CBC's Henrika Wilhelm reports.
It can be quite tricky to navigate.
The holidays, a merry time for many, for others a challenging one, especially for those living with an eating disorder.
There's already an inordinate amount of time spent thinking about food, and it's occupying your mental space and energy. You often hear people say by the end of the holiday, "Oh, I'm sick of it," when it comes to food. So if you're already spending a tremendous amount of mental space and energy thinking about food, it's certainly exacerbated during that period of time.
Something Trini Bragg knows firsthand. She has lived with anorexia since the mid-90s, was diagnosed when she was just 16 years old.
At that time, it almost was only talked about in hushed whispers. It wasn't an open topic. I think in many ways, because I was diagnosed at that point in time, it was a saving grace for me. All of the pieces seemed to kind of click together.
While she's currently not actively anorexic, the chronic disease will always stay with her, including during the holiday season. For anyone struggling, she has some advice.
Have your supports lined up, whatever they might be, whatever your support system might be. I think it's important for me, one of the things that I've always done is try to adhere to a schedule and a routine. So that could be an eating routine, an exercising routine. I also think that, a lot of times, because I'm open about it, if I feel overwhelmed, I might bow out of a particular, a drop-in or a gathering. It's a little bit too much for me.
And the Provincial Eating Disorder Foundation says family and friends can help by not making food or weight the main focus of conversations around the holiday table, and by planning activities that don't center on food. Henrika Wilhelm, CBC News, St. John's.
First, it was heavy rain and flooding. Now it's high winds and power outages wreaking havoc across British Columbia. It's the third major weather event to batter the province in the past week, and it's not over yet. Yasmin Manea has the latest.
Across BC, down trees and power lines after a fierce wind and rainstorm overnight. At its peak, about 120,000 customers were without power in the Lower Mainland, Sunshine Coast, and on Vancouver Island Wednesday, with many schools closed. BC Hydro says crews are working around the clock to restore power.
Over the past few years, we have undergone a historic drought, and that has caused some drought that weakened and damaged trees on the system that are more susceptible to break and snap and come into contact with our electrical infrastructure.
BC has been battling severe weather conditions for a week. An atmospheric river hit the Fraser Valley last Wednesday, triggering states of local emergency, forcing hundreds to evacuate and shutting down major highways. And earlier this week, tragedy struck after a Chilliwack woman was killed by a falling tree following another windstorm. Parts of Abbotsford and Chilliwack remain under flood warning, meaning river levels have exceeded or are expected to imminently exceed riverbanks, resulting in flooding in nearby areas. Wind warnings are also still in effect in the region. Environment Canada says winds could still lead to more tree damage, power outages, and travel delays. It recommends people secure loose outdoor objects around their homes and stay away from fallen power lines. Yasmin Ranea, CBC News, Abbotsford, British Columbia.
And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.